question says, using what you learned in the last lesson, which we learned about slope last lesson, determine the slope of the line with the following graph. So what happens if they don't give you points on your line? You have to make the points on your line. How do I know where I'm going to make a point? You're looking, so you see how they have, oh, that's bad. Let me erase that and try again. You should see there are like, I can't draw straight. You can see there are like T's everywhere where lines cross, where this line or this diagonal line crosses exactly at a T like that. That's where you would make a point. So I find one of those right here. I keep following my line up. I've got another one right here, and I really only need 2 points. So those are the 2 points that I'm going to use. Remember, the letter we use for slope is M, and slope stands for rise over run. We want to know how far up or down, that number goes on the top, and then how far over goes on the bottom. Now remember, when you're picking the point you want to start with, you want to start on the point that's more to the left, or the line that, or the point that's closer to the L right here, which would be this one. You want to start right here. So when I'm trying to find the slope for this point, I have to go up 1, 2, 3. So the top number of my slope is a positive 3 because I went up. And then I still have to go over to the right 1. So the bottom number is a 1. What is 3 divided by 1? 3. So I'm going to reduce that to 3. If you have something and you're trying to like reduce it, but it would give you a decimal, just leave it as a fraction. So say you have 3 over 6. That is 1/2, but I don't want you to divide 1 by 2. I just want you to leave it as 1/2. Okay? So that's number 1. Example 2, using what you learned in the lesson, determine the slope. So once again, you've got to find points on your line. Now, I found one right here, and I'm going to keep following my line until I find another one. I'm going to let you guys do this one really quick. Try to figure out what your slope is, and then we'll go over it in like a minute. Okay, someone tell me what you got. What's the top number? What's the bottom number? And when you take 2 divided by 1, you do get a whole number, so you're able to do that. That's just 2. So the slope of this line is 2. Remember yesterday we talked about what is slope. Slope just tells you the steepness of the line in a number. So instead of saying, oh, that line is really steep, you can give it a number and say, yeah, that line has a steepness of 2. Okay? That way you can compare different lines to each other. Number 3, we're not going to focus on what they say at the top because we already learned how to find the slope. So what we want to do, once again, we have to find some points here. I just start like following my line until I see a place that it crosses. I keep going till I find another place that it crosses. There is one in the negatives. I'm going to keep going and find another one just to make sure there's all the points except for this one right here. There's all my points. Tyler, what's happening? Okay. This is the left side of my graph. This is the right side of my graph. I want to find the slope. So you want to start on one of the points that's on the left, and the point that's closest to the L is down here at the very bottom. That's the point where I'm going to start. Remember, slope is rise over run, and it stands for the letter M. So what I'm going to do is figure out how far up I have to go. 1, 2, and then I'm on the same line as the next point. So I know the top number of my slope is 2, and the bottom number is how far over. So 1, 2, 3. Now what you can keep doing to check to make sure you're right is there's another point. See, you go up 1, 2, you go right 1, 2, 3. Up 1, 2, right 1, 2, 3. It should work for every single point. Does that make sense? If you get something different, something went wrong for you. So if I tried to divide 2 divided by 3, I would get a decimal, and I do not want to do that. I'm going to leave my slope just like this as a fraction. All right, turn your paper over. All right, we're going to do the same thing here. So I'm going to find some points. And like I said, you can do all of the points if you want just to check, or pick some points. You just follow your line until you see it crosses at an intersection or like at a T. I've got a bunch of points on this line. Slope is rise over run. So you want to start at one of the points that's on the left. The one that's on the most to the left is this bottom point right here. I'm going to have you write down the slope to this one really quickly. Okay, what should my top number be? How far up did I have to go? How far over did I have to go? And what is 2 divided by 1? 2. There you go. Down here, there's 3 questions. These questions don't really apply. They teach how to find slope a different way that I don't like. I like to just teach the normal way. But down here at number C, it says find the slope using as many different points as you can. That just means you did the first one, you went up 2, right 1, but if you kept going, you would still get up 2, right 1, up 2, right 1, up 2, right 1, and you can see that the slope is the same thing every single time. Your slope is 2. So this is the same basically thing that we did yesterday. We're just kind of practicing it again. So that is literally all we're doing. So